Welcome back, where we are going to talk about the power of focus as your phase one in the Financially Fabulous coaching program. And I would say that this video is probably my most excited because I absolutely makes me the most excited because I absolutely love to share our financial GPS system digital and interactive workbook with you so that you can see the power behind having the data in front of you. I will share with you, it's going to feel a little bit overwhelming when you first see it, but when you get inside the program and you start working with it on a period over period basis, it literally will become a tool that you have on your computer screen day in and day out, and you will use it to guide you and allow you to see what you have in front of you as you navigate this beautiful thing called business. All right. So phase one is the power of focus. We embark on a transformative journey with the Financially Fabulous coaching program in this phase. This is where you start. In phase one, we delve into your business's history. We unlock the insights that pave the way for strategic decision making going forward. We uncover what is working. We uncover what doesn't work. And we set the stage for a financial strategy that aligns with your goals. So, are you ready to focus your way to success? I just love that statement. All right, so here's what we've got. Let's talk about focus. Your focus forward stage it's the initial phase, and it really truly is the cornerstone of your financial journey. It's where we build out, at least in a draft version, and we continue to master, where we build out the financial GPS system. So financial GPS system stands for guided profit and scale. So again, it's your framework. It's your system that is going to tell you exactly what needs to be done and where you're going to land financially when you do it. Okay. It's going to give you the focus of where your decisions need to be made so that you can start to create action in your optimized phase. So the focus forward stage is all about setting up a comprehensive framework that encompasses your entire spectrum of your business's financial landscape. And it's going to allow you to analyze past performance, and it's going to also allow you to plan your future growth, manage your inventory to perfection, and strategically plan out your profit and your cash flow. Okay, so that's another summary of it for you. So let's take a look at what this means. And as we go through, we're going to look at your infinite GPS or your infinite loop. If I were to pull this over here, this is what we would be looking at again, your infinite loop. This is what we're going to go through once again. We're going to refer back to this because it is very much the foundation groundwork of this system, the Financially Fabulous coaching program, and the 7 milestones within your financial GPS system. So using this as your reference, I showed you the loop already. Let's talk through each of them. And then as we go through the loop, I am going to be showing you the workbook. So that's why this segment of this introduction is so fun for me. So mindset and habit building. That's number one, your very first step in your 7 milestones of your financial GPS system. We've talked a ton about it. If you still feel like you're wavering and that you maybe are in a space thinking this mindset conversation isn't relevant to you, I'm going to beg to differ, and I'm going to ask that you go back and listen to it again. Maybe you were doing something else, but truly, I cannot tell you enough that this comes with care, is the sustainability of your company, the repairability of anything that is broken right now and not working, anything that you are financially struggling with. Any big goals, like maybe you're in a winning season of your business and you've just got big goals. Having complete control over your finances is the best thing that you can do for yourself. It is the best use of your time, because I promise if you can get control of your mindset and the habits around your finances, you're going to sleep better at night. You are going to feel more independent. You're going to feel more empowered. You're going to feel completely in control of your financial destiny and where you are headed with your business financially, which obviously trickles into your household. And it is going to give you this sense of just true ownership and strength. right? If you're feeling burned out, it might be that you're actually just burned out because of the finances and everything else is going wrong because of it. If we gain control of where our business is financially, I promise you everything else will come easier. Your profitability and your profit focused mindset is going to buy you the support to help you with the business when you're burning the candle at both ends. It's going to buy you the ability to buy the inventory. It is going to buy you the ability to do the Facebook ads so that you can grow and get in front of new audiences. The financial areas of your business is the strength builder. And I really, truly need you to encompass that mindset and how important the habit building around it is. It will get easier. It's almost like a direct ask, like, please do this for yourself. You need to do this. You can't not do this and expect to be here 5 years from now. And imagine the agony in between that you'll be suffering that is so unnecessary because you're intelligent. You're an entrepreneur. And that means that you actually can do this. I know you can. I've seen many others do it. And it's not about what we've learned in the past. It's not about how we've been introduced or not introduced to anything financial from our upbringing. It's right here in front of you to take it and grab it. All right. So that's the mindset and the habit building behind the infinite. You've got to want it. You've got to have the right mindset. You've got to coach yourself to the mindset and allow us to coach you to the mindset. And you've got to be diligent about building habits. And you've got to want the support in building habits. Okay. So let's then go to milestone number 2. I'm going to move this just a little bit, see if I can get it in the right location. So mindset number 2 is that you are going to look back. You will continuously at all times be doing a look back analysis. You first start in your focus forward retreat or done for you if you're not going to show up live and you're going to do it yourself using the recordings and the posted live trainings from the past. You will first build out your very initial financial GPS system. You look back, you pull data from the past. The very first build out is always a little bit painful. I'm not going to tell you it's not, because you're looking back at 12 months. You're having to get data cleaned up. You're having to reorganize your Shopify and your product categories. But once you get it organized, it's very easy going forward, to the tune of like 20 minutes a month is all in order to do your look back. So during your very first focus forward event, you're going to dive into your historical financial data. You're going to clean up the messes. You're going to make sure the data is ready for you to pull it out into the future and use it, right? Like you're going to get your date. You're going to get your point of sale system in a nice, clean, and organized way that the data in it is very meaningful for you to use from a look back analysis standpoint. That's what we're talking about. So when we do that very initial, it's a little bit painful. That's why we do it in a 2-day workshop where I am guiding you and then giving you time to do the work, guiding you, giving you time to do the work. But after you get it built out, all you're doing is updating it period over period and using it to drive your decision making. So you dive into your historical financial data to identify trends and pinpoint areas for improvement. The past, where you came from, when you look back 12 months at a time, just a rolling 12 months, rolling average, you will always be able to see how can I improve my business financially based on my sales and my inventory metrics as well as my financial metrics. So this reflective process provides a clear picture of your business's past performance, and it's laying the groundwork for informed decision making. Nothing drives me more crazy than when I have a slide that we've proofed that has a typo, but we fixed that now. So let's look at what this means in your financial GPS system. So this is your very first preview into your financial GPS system. And what it is we obviously have your cover and legal. This is going to have a big image. I took it off for these reasons. It's a big logo branding of the Financially Fabulous Coaching Program. Then we have a GPS dashboard that I'm not going to show you in this training. It's just a dashboard of what is happening down the road in what you're seeing here today. Right here is your look back. So when you look at this, you might be going, okay, heck no, this is so much. It's so much data. I can't learn that. I promise you, you can. I promise you. So when you look at this very first section Any section that you see, so let me back up. Any worksheet that I show you in your financial GPS system, which is what we're looking at right here, if it is this sunny yellow color, that means that it's a data entry field. And if it is white, it is calculating and giving, just spitting out the data to you so that you can learn and understand what it means. So anything yellow, you can see, look at how little this is. It's so little data entry, but yet it's giving you so much information. So on the look back portion of your financial GPS system, your 7 milestones infinitely that you are monitoring and making decisions on, you are going to get all of your retail sales and inventory metrics calculated for you just by pulling out your sales from your point of sale, your cost of goods from your point of sale, your end of month inventory, and your markdowns. So this right here is your sales and inventory metrics. Then we go further and we say, okay, what's happening with your customer base? We've got average order value that comes from your point of sale, first-time customers and returning customers. I show you during the Focus Forward trainings, live event or recorded, whichever you choose, I show you where to pull up this information. So you do this month over month, and at the very onset, we build it out as much of the 12 months as possible. If you've only been in business for 3 months, we build out 3 months. If you just changed point of sales and you're starting out fresh, we leave it going. We build it out as we go going forward. Not a big deal. You will never not make decisions based on data in the back, because we only look back so long, right? We want to identify, we got to look back, learn what we can learn, but we're always planning forward. We're focused forward. That's where we want our eyes and attention on. Look back is just for informational purposes. So right here on this look back, you learn important data that is right here for 12 months at a time. You can see rolling averages. And I teach you in our optimize. Once we get into optimize, we literally look at this and say, okay, what's it telling us? What is it telling us, and what can we improve? And I'll share other people's workbooks. We'll do Q&A. We'll do deep dive sessions and spotlight coaching, whatever it takes, right? Like those are some of the coaching styles that we use. So you come in and look at it and say, okay, where are my margins? Where are my markdowns? Where's my turn rates relative to my entire business? And how is my customers performing for me? This customer performance eventually leads to your to your revenue mapping, whereas everything up here leads to your inventory planning. So now we come down, this is the company as a whole, right? Month over month, the entire company. Down here is a little bit more overwhelming visually as I first introduce it to you from a look back standpoint, because obviously there's a lot of sunny yellow fields, but don't let it scare you. Once you get it built out for the very first time, we do it in 2 days. You'll maybe have some back work to do if your point of sale is not clean and organized. And I even give you, like literally, I teach you how to clean up your point of sale system, okay, and what is needed. So that will be very empowering and invigorating in and of itself. But what we do on this intake by category by month, we go in and we identify with each of your categories, and I'll teach you what your categories should be in this coaching program. This example is only, this is a women's boutique retail store, but we've got clients that span all things specialty. So your categories will be much different as your business is branded differently and you carry different products and serve different audiences. That's not a big deal. This is very much, this entire workbook is built to be very nimble and very aligned with your own personalized model, all right, business model and brand. So we go in and we do an intake on your categories. What was your sales in January by category? What was your markdowns in January by category? What was your cost of goods in January by category? How many units did you sell? And what was your end of month inventory by category in the month? And you do this each month. This, like I said, is the most data entry that you will do in the very first focus phase event that you participate in. But once you get it built out, all you're doing is to say, okay, May of 2020, I've got to get this, May of 2023 is now done and gone. Or May 2024 is now done and gone. I need to update my information and put my May of 2024 numbers in here. So then you are always rolling it forward and using rolling averages to make your decision. We look back 12 months, we plan forward 12 months at all times. So your look back, if you look at this, once you get done with your intake, look at this section right here. This section is giving you everything that you need to know about how each of your product categories and product types is performing relative to your cost of goods sold, your gross profit, your inventory levels, your turnover, your average inventory that you're keeping on a monthly basis, your markdown percentages, your initial cost, your maintained cost, your average item cost, your retail or your maintained retail. It's all right here, and it is all there for you to look at and say what's working, what's not. Of any given category, you will learn what best in class is within the coaching program itself. So you can identify to go, okay, Christyne says that best in class for tops is this. Where am I at relative to best in class? Okay. So we'll guide you with that and allow you to set the coordinates going forward. Okay. So this is your look back. Let's go forward one more step. So relative to your financial GPS system, there's the slide where I'm actually showing it to you. Now we are on number 3. In your financially fabulous focus forward stage, one of the 7 milestones we've looked at, look back, we've looked at, now we're going to look at plan forward. The next one is plan forward. This is based on, you're going to plan your business forward based on insights from your look back analysis. You saw how much is there, and you're going to set realistic and strategic financial goals. And these financial goals on your plan forward phase is all about your sales and inventory. How are you going to optimize the investment into your inventory? Okay. So this involves creating a detailed roadmap for future growth that is grounded in data and market insights. So let's look at what this means in your financial GPS system. So I'm going to toggle back over to the workbook. I'm going to go to the next page of the workbook, and I'm going to show you your plan forward. So your look back, as you know, gave you a ton of data about your inventory and your sales metrics from a store-wide as well as a per category standpoint. What we're doing here is some of this stuff loops back. So there's going to be a few fields here that if you're looking at it and you're getting cross-eyed because it's a lot of data, it's pulling from some of the stuff going forward. But what I want you to identify with here is that anything in the yellow, this is where we come in initially and we design your categories. What are your categories that you want to have in your business? In this workbook, you're seeing 12. We coach to 12 from a regulated standpoint, but we coach to 12. I try to challenge you to get in 12, but some businesses just can't and they never will. So I do have workbooks that will come to you, and they can be 15 and 20 as well. Okay. So 12, 15, or 20. I try to get my clients to be under 12 or in that 12 mark if possible. But if you've got a more dynamic business model, you might need all the way up to the 20. A lot of our home stores and decor stores need the 20, just so you know that there's a lot of adaptability in this workbook. Okay. So no matter what, you can't ever tell me that the program doesn't work with you because you can't do 12 categories, because this is adaptable. It is a spreadsheet that I can grow with you as you need. All right. So you define your categories. Those were already listed on your look back. It's one of the first things that we do. But where I want to draw your eyes, anything yellow, this obviously once it's designed, it stays stagnant. Right here, what you are doing is on this plan forward metrics, you're looking at it to say anything in purple is actually coming from your look back. So your look back, percentage of sales, turn rate by category, initial percentage of sale by category, maintained percentage of sale by category, or maintained cost, initial cost and maintained cost, your average initial retail, your average maintained retail. This is what your customers are willing to pay for your product, what your average item cost is. And then here's where the power happens. When you're planning forward in this milestone, you come in and say, okay, this is low because it should be 14. I was playing with the numbers. See how that happens? I come in and play with numbers. I'm like, oop, I did not move that back. So what you're doing is you're coming in and you're telling your business, you're telling your future self and how you make business decisions around your inventory buying so that you can optimize your inventory investment. On average, your inventory investment is 40% of your dollars, and that's how important it is. We need to give it that attention. So you come in and you say, okay, I'm experiencing this percentage of sales in each category. I would prefer to adjust it so that I maybe am spending more money and driving more sales in areas that have a higher turn rate, a better profit margin. So you can come in and say, I actually feel like I need to bring in more tops because I just need to. Maybe you come in and say, I want to really pump up my dress romp jump, and I'm not real happy with maybe my accessories. I want to go back down 4. I'm going to go back up to 18 here. I'm at 100% here. Maybe you come in and say, my shoes are greatly underperforming, so I'm going to put 5 here. So that leaves another 2%. I'm going to put 2% back into dress romp jump because I'm going higher there. Where do you want to drive sales in your business in order to improve your overall profit margin and your overall turn rate from a compounded weighted average standpoint, so that you can find a better balance? This is about finding a balance so that all of your money is working for you and that you can efficiently store wide, accomplish the margins that you choose and the turn rate that you choose by weighted average on each of your categories. So you plug and play what percentage of sales you are seeking based on what your customers are currently telling you, while also being aware that your results might entirely be because you didn't have the inventory in other areas, but maybe you're selling out way too fast in one given category and you need to put more money into it so that you can sell through even faster, all right? Because your customers are telling you want it. So this is your planned percentage of sales, the pulse you have on what your customers want to buy from you. Then here we come in and we say, nope, we cannot operate our business at an average 2.73 times turn. We instead need a higher turn. I coach to an on average 6 times turn for a fashion retailer, and then it goes up or down from there based on any other specialty retailer that you might be. So we set our turns, our desired and our action focused turn rates on each of our categories, and then we monitor to see how its weighted average is going to come in. All right. So you're setting the coordinates, right? Like imagine getting into your financial or into your GPS system and going, boop, 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 here's my coordinates. Or you maybe want like certain stops that are going to create efficiencies in your trip, and you put those coordinates in. That's exactly what you're doing here. So you are telling this workbook how you are going to, you're telling the workbook on what you want to succeed, so that in the future sheets that I show you, the worksheets down below, the revenue mapping and inventory planning, it gives you the decisions that you're making. Literally gives you, if you want a 6 times turn, 4 tops, and you want it to be 33% of your inventory at 25% cost of sale, what does that look like from how much inventory do you buy? All right. So then to go a little bit deeper is if right now you're only accomplishing 35% cost, or that you're high and you're 35% cost on your tops, and maybe you believe that you can bring in more fast fashion, maybe private label, maybe do a little bit of manufacturing yourself, or just in general go out and seek better products that can get a 4-time markup, you're going to come in and you're going to put what your planned initial cost is. Then that is giving you, once you tell it what your planned initial cost is, knowing what your customers are willing to pay for that product, it is telling you what you can spend on that product. So instead of spending $17.74 on a top, you're now going to be searching and sourcing tops that are $12.72 in order to get your appropriate markup while maintaining your sweet spot on your pricing with your customers. So this is giving you a massive amount of information and guidance on planning forward. So let's go back. That's the plan forward stage. Now we move into revenue mapping. Revenue mapping is going to be where you are logically and realistically revenue planning based on your customer metrics from your look back. So that means that it is statistically calculated that you can accomplish these dollars in the form of revenue, and that they're not vanity numbers and they're not year over year growth numbers. We need them to be as accurate as possible because we're relying on their accuracy. It's never going to be dollar for dollar exact, right? But it's going to give you that ballpark number, because then you are buying your inventory on that number and you are planning your profit and your cash flow on that number. So remember at the beginning of this, when I said to you, this is an end-to-end planning tool for your business. Gone are the days that you are just going to plan inventory and not worry about what it looked like backwards or what it looks like going forwards relative to your cash flow, right? Like you can't just look at one segment of your business and expect all other areas of your business to succeed in an efficient and effective manner, right? So your revenue mapping is about developing precise revenue projections to ensure your business's growth is both sustainable and strategic. This includes understanding and optimizing your revenue streams and maximizing performance. Once you understand what is contributing to your revenue potential, logically and realistically, you then have the ability to set up initiatives within your business and focus points for you and your team on where and how you're going to improve those numbers in order to improve and change your revenue outcome. But you always have to first start with logical and realistic. Where are you at today and what does that calculate to be? So let's look inside your financial GPS system workbook and see how this plays out. So right here on this first section, this is your revenue mapping look back, okay? So this section right here is the information about your customers that is coming from your look back. It is this section right here. So all of that work that you did on your look back, you are now seeing how it is being used to not only plan forward, but also to revenue map. So this is your sales metrics for your customers. You can see that I teach you how to look at this. You can see that it's giving you your averages, and I teach you what to see here. Like I teach you where to pull your eyes, what to look at, what has meaning, how to ask yourself what worked, what didn't. I teach you all of that in the coaching, and that happens in the optimize. Focus forward is about getting the data in the system and maintaining the system. And then optimize is about understanding what it is telling you. So relative to coming into optimize, you come in and you look at your look back and your metrics, what happened in the past over the last 12 months relative to my customers and how they bought from me, new customers, existing customers, how often they came through my store, as well as how much they spent from an average order value standpoint. You then use that underneath this mapping guide. So this is a tool for you to come in and say, okay, last September, I had $125,000 of logical average order value. I personally believe that I can accomplish that again. I know how I succeeded this dollar amount in relationship to the rest of the year, month over month. I'm then also looking at my returning customer rate. How are they coming back through the door? How am I nurturing them? What's my initiative to continue to do so? What is my average logical frequency, customer frequency? You might not always just duplicate what's in here. Likely you won't. You'll look at an average. You'll scan each month. You'll identify with what worked, what didn't, and where do you feel like you can duplicate successes. Maybe you'll look at it and say, how is it that in September, I was able to get 2.7. Maybe that's your back to school. Maybe it's an anniversary. And then in October, it's about the same. Yes, holiday spending is starting. Maybe you come in and say, okay, 3.65, or maybe you're going to split the difference and say 3 times. How does that affect your revenue? So you can see how, as I'm typing in data here, watch this number right here. You can click it and it's going to tell you what the revenue difference is. So now what's happening, this method too is just a simpler method for those that don't have the data for the more complex method. Or I'm not going to say it's not even complex. It's not complex for you. It's complex relative to higher number of or higher accuracy. Okay. But what happens is when you are plugging and playing this data, all of a sudden you're setting goals to say, I know I've accomplished this before. I've already accomplished 125. Look at my October. I actually put October at 125. because I got 125 average order value in September. Why wouldn't I be able to get that in October when more people are coming through my door? More people are coming through my door more often, and I have a lesser average order value. Maybe it's because they were coming in more often, they're spending less each time, but maybe it's because it's just more people. So if I look at my total customer count, it's about the same customer count coming in more often. Why is my average order value different, right? My total orders are higher. That's why. How do we pump this up a little bit? I know that just by maybe adding some cash wrap, maybe doing some self-indulgence products that I can promote, I can get it up to 125. So instead of it being, status quo at 118, again, look at this number right here. That's your revenue. If you go, I'm going to push it up to 125, and then I'm going to set an incentive for my team to get there. Look at what it just did. So this is where you will learn to plug and play different scenarios relative to your revenue potential logically and realistically, but then you can use this as goals for your team. So when it comes to the goals for your team, all of a sudden you now have, by plugging and playing the data up above, you're logically and realistically revenue planning forward by using the data that you're looking back at and understanding why and how you accomplish that. You are now got a full-on 12-month revenue plan. You can see that by season, we have a revenue plan. And then by month, we have a revenue plan. But you can also see that it comes down relative to the plan forward right here. It's coming down and saying, here's what my cost of goods sold is going to look like. Here's what my markdown is going to look like. My inventory stock plan, my revenue plan per week, per day, number of sales that I need, and number of items I need. But now this literally can be shared with your sales team, your associates, anybody that's supporting you in your revenue goals. But here are common and key questions that you ask yourself while you are going through the process of revenue mapping. What are your customer retention initiatives? What are you doing in your business to retain customers? You have those team meeting conversations and you set it up as goals. What are your new customer initiatives? What are your average order value increase initiatives? How will you reward your team for achieving either or both? So I'm teaching you to bring in your team into this decision making and helping you accomplish it. And then in Elevate, we teach you how to incentivize them. So this is your logical and realistic revenue planning. It's based on statistics that you've already accomplished with you putting a very keen focus on how you are going to accomplish a better number, right? Like in October, I knew that I could accomplish 125 in September. Why can't I accomplish that in October? I'm going to set it as a goal as my team, and it is achievable. So why wouldn't I plan for it? But now you have revenue mapping that is going to allow you to build out a profit or an inventory plan, as well as build out a profit and cash flow plan that is not this elusive number pulled from the sky that you never obtain. And now you have too much inventory, and now you're discounting, and now you have debt. And it's all based on the fact that you have never met the revenue goal that you set for yourself. Okay. So that is revenue mapping in your financial GPS system. And again, it's just plugging and playing the figures. You saw how I was keying them in and just watching the numbers change. And then you settle on what is your best bet. And then I teach you a rhythm and a habit to say, when you come in here for June, for example, you would come in here and say, all right, maybe you're in the middle of June, you're going to come and say, we're really not accomplishing what we set here as our goal. I need to pull this back. I need to pull it back so I can see how it affects my inventory going forward. So as you're experiencing a higher or a lower number than what you projected, you can put it in the system to roll it back so that it automatically adjusts your inventory plan and your profit and cash flow plan so that you can recognize the gaps in inventory and cash flow, so you can reel in some spending and you can pull back some purchase orders and don't overspend. Or maybe you are over accomplishing your revenue goal and you feel pretty confident about adding an additional expense that will help you, or purchasing that additional inventory. It's all about having the insights to do the next strategy in your business. Okay, so that is revenue mapping. I'm going to stop this video here, and then we're going to go into the step 5 of our financial GPS system and our milestones. But I'd like to cut the video off so that you can regroup and then come in and watch the next video without having too much data in one particular video alone. So I'll see you in the next one.